Hey guys, Jesse Casillas here once again, and tonight I'll be talking about teams, and I'll also provide different types of teams found within organizations. And then lastly, I'll end this video by sharing a few teams that are found within Scripture. So, as always, let's take a look at a few definitions provided by Schermerhorn in Core Concepts of Management. Formally defined, a team is a small group of people with complementary skills who work together to achieve a shared purpose and hold themselves mutually accountable for its accomplishments. Teamwork is the process of people actively working together to accomplish common goals. So, keeping those definitions in mind, let's take a look at a few different teams. First, we have committees, and committees are made up, they form a team with a specific task in mind, and this task usually um, takes up a long duration of time. So throughout this time, the team itself can change. It's not always the same individuals. You usually have a chairman, which might serve a term of a couple years, and then turn it over to another chairman, and so on. So this team does change over time. The dynamics of the team changes. However, task forces, they come together for a very specific task, but then they disband when that um, task is completed, once that goal is met. Then you have cross-functional teams, and this consists of individuals from other functioning units that come together to accomplish a specific goal. Next, you have employee involvement teams, which consist of individuals gathering outside of their normal responsibilities to solve problems. And within employee involvement teams, you have a quality circle. And this quality circle is made up of individuals who meet occasionally rather than regularly. Next, you have virtual teams, and as you may have guessed, these individuals work together through computer-based interactions. They network online. They may have conference calls, but they usually meet outside of the office over the phone or online and whatnot. Um, Hardly ever would they meet physically unless there's an absolute need. Then you have self-managing work teams, and these teams have the authority to make important decisions rather than having to rely upon their superiors to make certain decisions for them. So as we've taken a look at the definition of a team, of teamwork, and also looked at a few different types of teams, let's go ahead and take a look into Scripture and see what we can find in regards to the types of teams within. As I did a little digging, which didn't take too much time, not at all, we come across the Sanhedrin. And if you're unaware of the Sanhedrin, they're an assembly or a council of 71 individuals, men, 70 men plus the high priest, and they made up the Supreme Court of their day. And their main objective was to judge all matters of the law. So if there was instances of adultery, murder, you name it, they've dealt with it. And they held multiple mock trials due to their main objective in the New Testament, and that was to crucify Christ. They believed he was blaspheming, and they wanted to end his life. Um, I believe it was over, it was jealousy. They felt threatened. Their positions were threatened. So their objective was to crucify Christ. So, as I said, they held multiple mock trials, and in their eyes, they were successful in killing Christ. However, we know as Christians that only Christ can lay down his life. No one can take it from him. And he did that to fulfill his main objective, and that was the redemption of mankind. The next team that we find in Scripture is the 12 disciples. And surprisingly, the 12 disciples were made up of 13 individuals in total. Remember, Judas hung himself over the guilt that he felt from turning Christ in. And once Judas hung himself, there was another to replace him. And their common objective was to fulfill the Great Commission that we see in Matthew 28. And though many were persecuted and killed, the gospel was spread internationally due to their heroic efforts, and we should be extremely thankful for their sacrifices and all that they did for the Lord that benefited us in our relationships. So just as a quick recap, I gave you a couple definitions, different types of teams, and then a couple teams that we found within Scripture. I hope you guys enjoyed. God bless.